Hi there, students. Gatekeeping. A gatekeeper. So firstly, thank you to the guy who steals your beer for the idea. Okay, gatekeeper. At the simplest level, the gatekeeper is like the bouncer, the security at a nightclub. And he says, yes, you can come in, no, go away. I said go away. This is a gatekeeper. It's literally the person whose job is to check and control who is allowed through a gate. But this is something that goes much deeper. For example, gatekeeping. In medicine, your doctor, the doctor who you go and see, he acts as a gatekeeper. He decides who is allowed access to a specialist and who not, or which drugs you can, medicines you can have access to and which you can't. And very often he also has a budget consideration, money, and he's only allowed to give this medicine to people who really, really need it, because he's got to stay within budget. So this is gatekeeping. It's deciding who gets who gets stuff and who doesn't. It's the act of controlling resources, opportunities, or information. It's determining the status of particular people. So in the media, an editor decides what a newspaper or a news program is going to show and what it's not going to show. And this is the idea of the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper is the editor. This article, no, it's a good article, but it's not. It doesn't show the point of view I want to show. No. In social media, the platforms act as gatekeepers, controlling information, and this is the control of very different the messages that reach the public and how these messages are received. So the algorithm which decides what to show you is a gatekeeper, and there are lots and lots of words in YouTube that are frowned upon. They're bad words. They're words you mustn't use, and YouTube acts as a gatekeeper to not show videos that include those words. Perhaps in other social media, there are algorithms that act as gatekeepers to show only right-wing views or only left-wing views. For students, the admissions officer is the gatekeeper. They decide if you're allowed to study this or not. You may need certain qualifications, and these qualifications can be gatekeepers. They say that English or language and mathematics are gatekeeper subjects, which, if you're good at them, give you access to higher education. So we find this question of gatekeeping everywhere. Gatekeeping is part of our society. Let's see, in sociology, gatekeeping. This is something that very often happens in a marriage where either the husband or the wife limits how much of a role their spouse, their partner, has in a particular task, gatekeeping, to allow somebody to participate or not. Perhaps a husband says, I'm going to look after the children, and he gatekeeps and he keeps his wife out and he won't let her look after the children. She never helps me, then he says. That's gatekeeping as well in sociology. It's manipulative in this case. Or to limit somebody's participation in a collective because you dislike them, or perhaps because you're overprotective. So gatekeeping, this concept of gatekeeping is an important concept in the world that we live in today. You need to find a way to get past the gatekeeper because it's controlling access to resources. It's a filter of information. It's an arbiter of legitimacy or quality. It's like a process of vetting. Look up the verb to vet, V-E-T. Or controlling access to knowledge. You are a gatekeeper says who's allowed to know and who isn't. Or perhaps a receptionist. They filter phone calls. Or the secretary. You've got to get past the secretary to get to the person you want to talk to, and the secretary acts as a gatekeeper. It's the first point of contact. Yeah, you want to sell this person something, but you've got to get past the gatekeeper. A producer or an editor, which stories get published or not, and this shapes what the public see, what the public know. The doctor who says you're allowed to have this specific treatment or not. Social gatekeeping, or what information children can have and at what age they can have it. So the gatekeeper is like a filter. They're managing the flow and the quality of information within a system, within an organisation. So parents act as gatekeepers about what is acceptable for children to see and learn about and what not. So a gatekeeper, gatekeeping. Effectively it's the person who opens and closes the gate. You can't come in. I've said you can't come in. So formality. I think I'm going to give this a 6 in formality. I think you could use it anywhere, but I think this is a more formal, on the more formal side, maybe even a 6.5. So gatekeeping, the gate that opens. Bye for now. Gatekeeping.